morning, BVI's little secret. Welcome to my channel. My name is Julie if you haven't been here before, and I'm an expat living in the BVI for on and off for a number of years, and I make these videos to make your trip or your move to the BVI a little bit more enjoyable. So today I have my handy dandy list, and we're going to discuss tips for making your trip on the water a little bit more enjoyable if you're chartering for the first time or if you've been here before and you just want a quick refresher. So this is an easy one. Before you guys leave the boat or you go out for a sail, make sure you've closed all of your hatches and make sure you've pushed in that little button in the galley and in your cabin on all the cupboards. That way, if you're on a monohull and you're rocking and rolling, nothing comes out. This has happened to me before and it's not fun picking up shards of glass everywhere. Okay, so number 2, make sure before you jump in that water, you bring your towels up on deck. You don't want any wet feet going down that companionway. If you're in a monohull, that's an easy way to slip and fall and have to call VISAR for an emergency run to the hospital. So make sure you bring your towels up on deck before, and if you're gonna rinse off, make sure that water pressure is on. If you're new to sailing, make sure that you know how to turn on the lights, the water pressure and the solenoid. Usually that is on the nav station and your captain's gonna be able to walk you through that. Next, number 4, bring cash for taxis, for trash removal, and for ice. A lot of people down here, we do have credit card machines and you can do it off your phones now, but it's always easier just to make sure you have cash because some of those businesses will only accept cash. Number 5, make sure that at least one person in your group has internet. You're gonna wanna use the internet to reserve a boatie ball potentially, and a lot of businesses, we use WhatsApp down here, so download that onto your phone and you can call them or you can text them and ask for a reservation or ask them any questions that you have. So definitely have one person have internet. Last summer, I chartered for 7 days with a bunch of friends. We had a great time, and I would highly recommend spending 2 nights at the bitter end on the docks, and then we spent 1 night in Anegada. The time on the docks was fantastic because it was June and it was hot, so we had nice cold AC because we were on shore power, and we were able to use the showers at the bitter end. Number 7. If you're going in the dinghy, chances of getting wet are extremely high. So make sure you plan accordingly and maybe even pack a dry bag so that you can keep all the phones and everything that needs to be dry. You'll definitely need a dry bag if you're swimming ashore to go to the Soggy Dollar Bar. There's a reason why it's called the Soggy Dollar Bar. Number 8, hydration is key. It is hot down here. It is misleading when you are sailing how much you are actively sweating, and if you are drinking coffee in the morning and then you switch to having a few cocktails and you have a few cocktails at night, it's going to be harder and harder for you to keep up with your hydration. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water, and even throw in some Noon tablets or Pedialyte packets into your bag, and then that way you can keep up with your hydration. Hydration will also help if you have anyone on board that is prone to seasickness, so make sure they're staying hydrated throughout the day. Okay, so number 9, once you've packed and you've got everything together, look at what you've got, take half of that stuff out. Primarily, you're gonna be in bathing suits all day, you're gonna be wearing cover-ups or t-shirts, and then at night, you're gonna wanna either, I usually pack like some cute dresses or some, nice shorts and t-shirts, and that's about it. Then I make sure I bring a pair of flip-flops that can get wet, especially if you're gonna be in and out of the dinghy. I also make sure to pack, of course, sunscreen, hat, 1 pair of flip-flops, a raincoat, and a sun shirt. Sun shirts are definitely a go-to here. It's an easy way of making sure you don't get burned. Number 10. Now this is a personal preference. There's a lot of talk about this on the community boards and on Charter Chat on Facebook. But there's really no reason now to bring down meat and other groceries that you can bring from the States. You can get everything here. And who wants to schlep all of that stuff back and forth on the plane? Just come down here, enjoy your vacation, spend maybe a couple extra dollars more for the ease and the luxury of not having to bring it all down with you. So I have celiac disease, so I used to bring down bread and snacks and pastas. No need to do that anymore. I can get everything down here. So for meat, you're gonna wanna look at Steakcation. Right Way has a really good butchery section. Grape Expectations, I'll put those links down below. Wine and alcohol, you're going to want to look at Right Way, Caribbean Cellars, Grape Expectations, Tico, and the French Deli. Those are primarily the big places that will carry alcohol. Right Way, Tico, French Deli, Steakcation, and Caribbean Cellars, they're all in the same little area, so you can walk to all of it. If you are renting a car to do provisioning, you can drive from Right Way and then go right over to the French Deli or to Steakcation and Tico and Caribbean Cellars. And they're in the same little spot. A lot of those places all also deliver. I know Grape Expectation, Steakcation definitely do. And don't forget, for grocery stores, you also have One Mart and you have Bobby's, and there's also Super Value, but they have things in bulk. So we go there to get like a big slab of frozen salmon, and then we cut it up, put it in our freezer. So there's quite a few different options down here. French Deli also has fantastic cheese. Number 11. The only thing you might want to bring with you for your charter is small bags of spices and trash bags, just because you're not going to use all of the trash bags while you're here, and you're certainly not going to use all of the spices. But buy them down here and just throw them in your bag, bring them home. I mean, they're still going to be good. The only other thing that we tend to pack when we charter are knives, our kitchen knives, because sometimes when you get on board the boats, they're just not sharp and they're more a hindrance than useful. So we just throw our knives in our bags and bring it in. You can, I've carried kitchen knives down with me from the States before that we have in our kitchen. So I think you'll be able to put them on the plane. Just put it in your checked baggage. Okay, the last section, and this is safety. So for a number of years, I was the executive creative director for Virgin Islands Search and Rescue for Visor. So I'm not saying these things to scare you, but you know, this stuff does happen. So make sure that everyone on your boat knows where the GPS is located and how to turn it on and how to read it. This will be if something happens to the captain and you have to make a call over the radio or a call to Visor, you know where you are. I can't tell you how many times we would get a call and they didn't know where the boat was. And we'd have to ask them questions and figure out, okay, this is where you are. So make sure everyone knows how to do those three things. 2, dial 767 for any on-water emergencies. 767 from your cell phone is going to go directly to Visor, and they have coordinators on call 24 hours a day. They will always pick up the phone. So if you someone has a medical emergency, or if you run aground and the boat is in danger of taking water on, give Visor a call. They have everyone's numbers. They'll be able to call your charter company. They'll be able to call Husky or Commercial Dive, which are salvage companies. Give them a call. They're experts. They know what they're doing. If you are in real emergency and you've dialed 767 and there's other boats around you, you can also hail on channel 16. Pan is for serious but non-life-threatening situations, and Mayday is if you're in grave or imminent danger. Visor does not monitor channel 16. However, the U.S. Coast Guard in Puerto Rico does, and they will be monitoring that channel, and they will then call whatever authorities need to be in, the Visor, police, whatever they need to. And 9 times out of 10, the other boats in your area are also going to have channel 16 on, so they'll be able to jump in and help you. If you're a newbie to sailing, just ask your captain how to use the VHF and what these Pan and Maydays are. They're very serious calls. You don't want to make these lightly. So touch base with your captain or with the charter company. I would also say make sure you take your boat briefings very seriously. They cover a ton of information and it's a little overwhelming. Send 1 or 2 or 3 people to the chart briefing and to the boat briefing, because what one person doesn't comprehend or doesn't remember, the next person will. There's information on, you know, if you run aground, if you how to use all of the electronics on your boat. Just please make sure to pay close attention, take notes. A lot of the charter companies have their boat briefings on YouTube. So just search for your charter company and see if your boat briefing is in there. The more people on your boat that have seen your boat briefings, the better. The more fun you guys are gonna have, because more people are gonna know how the boat is gonna be working. And the last thing, if you don't exercise at home, please think twice before you go to the baths and swim ashore. The water is crystal clear blue. It looks beautiful. It doesn't look too rough maybe to the naked eye, but just on the other side of the baths is the open ocean. So sometimes that the current can be kicking and you can't tell from the naked eye. So there's no shame if you want to take a mooring ball, grab a noodle, grab a life jacket, and swim ashore. There's also no shame in going to, if you're in the Sound, taking your dinghy over and taxiing to the baths, or going to Virgin Gorda Yacht Harbor and taxiing to the baths, and walking down and up from the baths is really beautiful. You get some really beautiful sights and pictures, and I would highly recommend it. If you have anyone in your boat that is on board that is not a strong swimmer, just think about these things. Bad things do happen in the BVI. Just because you're on vacation doesn't mean that you're not susceptible to being hurt or injured or going to the hospital or worse. So talk to the crew on board the boat and make sure you guys have a solid plan, and ask your charter company any questions that you might have about making alternative plans. They'll be able to walk you through all of it. So one last thing about the baths. There is, on top of the baths, there's a flag, and that flag is either going to show you a red flag, a yellow flag, or a purple flag. Purple flag means there's maybe jellyfish or box jellies that have been spotted. Yellow flag means it's safe to go to the baths. Red flag means no going to the baths. It means it is dangerous. The current is super strong, and you are not allowed to swim ashore from the baths, from your boat to the baths. This is monitored from the BVI lifeguard as well as the National Parks and VG. They look at the conditions throughout the day, and they will update it if necessary. BVI lifeguard sends out a alert to, I think he said 800 people or 1,000 people every morning. I get it as well, and we get a text message and it tells us what the conditions are for the day. So make sure to check. Visor usually post that on their Facebook page, or ask your charter company where you can find that information so you know if it's a red flag day before you head over. And please mind the flags. So I hope you've enjoyed my list. I hope you're encouraged to come down to the BVI and have a great time, and to think about, safety. Keep that in the back of your head, but come down, have a great time. If you have any questions, or if you want me to do any follow-up videos, longer segments about any of the topics that I've covered today, put in a little note down there, and I'll be sure to comment back to you and make those videos for you. So please, if you can, like and subscribe to my channel. The more people that like my channel, the more that people will be able to see the content. So have a great day, and we'll see you down here in the BVI.